Your excuses are lying to you. Your brain is telling you things that just aren't true because it's not about you being more polished. It's just simply about feeling that grass between your toes, throwing on your old t shirt, and really embracing that Saturday vibe, and then grabbing a hold of the truth, not the excuse that's whispering to you that you're not ready, you're not enough, you're lost, you're a loser, other people are doing it better. Right now is the time for you to embrace that you're more than enough. You always have been. And then allow today to be the day that you show up. You show up for you and you show up for the someone that's waiting on you. Hi, my name is Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, international best-selling author of 38 books and counting, and I've worked with essentially 5,000 people, helping them write, publish, market their books to bestseller, and everything that goes beyond that. But what I really am here to do on our laid back Saturday vibe is just simply show you and then teach you how to be visible and valuable, how to show up, show out, and be the you that you always have been, that you were created to be, that you're meant to be, and that you absolutely already are. Somebody's waiting on you. The world needs you. And we're so excited to be able to spend the time with you today, to be able to help you see and hear the truth over all the lies that have been plaguing you and me too. So let's jump right into it, okay? You see, and I actually have, and you can get it, it's free, ongoingwealthguide.com. That's not what this is about, but I created a 5-step program to help you understand what the real fundamentals of wealth are. Used to be, it was my free giveaway from when I was being interviewed. And I've done lots of podcast interviews, and that was the free giveaway. And the reason being is because you need to understand there's a system, and that system starts with your mindset. It always does. It starts right here between our ears, and most of the garbage. I was talking to my good friend Willie. You know, Willie and I co-wrote the book. Um, you know, uh, eh, we co-wrote the book, Magnetized Media. Sorry, my own book. I couldn't even remember the name of it. I kept getting the book that I'm in the process of finalizing for you guys in my mind, and I got that one totally messed up. Willie and I wrote Magnetized Media specifically for you to learn what real influence, what truly being an influencer really is. Not just somebody who's trendy, popular, not somebody who takes pictures of every bite of food they eat because somebody's interested in that. Not a celebrity who, dare not gain a pound, get a year older, do any of those kind of things. Not somebody who's taking off all their clothes to be able to get likes, but somebody who's really making an impact. I love how Seth Godin said it. He said, you're better off to have 100 raving fans than 10,000 people who could care less. And that's so very, very, very true. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this laid back vibe or not. It's just a little bit low energy for who I am and how I show up. So I'm going to adjust in my chair. Deal with me because this plastic thingy underneath my chair is driving me crazy. And I'm going to sit up here. I encourage you, sit back, embrace the Saturday vibe. Don't let my coming forward here in any way get you out of that casual, wearing your favorite t-shirt, your favorite rock band t-shirt, thinking back to your very first concert ever kind of a feel. Because I want you to embrace that. I want you to sit in that ease. In a perfect world, you're out in your yard, watching on a laptop or on a phone, and you're just wiggling the grass between your toes. You're just enjoying the outdoors. Maybe you have a pool and you're sitting next to the pool. You can smell the chlorine. If you've got kids, maybe they're splashing around in the pool because, it's 1 o'clock East Coast. It's in the noon hour here at Central Time, 11 Mountain Time, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning already. Well, actually 10, 11 if you want to get picky on the West Coast. Might be a little early to be in the pool if you're in Hawaii. Or if you're on the other side of the country, or if you're watching this on a replay and it's January, you're like, we're not in the pool. Okay. But that kind of a feeling, whatever's going on. And if you're watching on the replay and it's winter outside and it's very cold, I encourage you, kick off your shoes, take off your socks, and just wiggle your feet in the carpet. If that's too much for you, just wiggle your toes inside of your shoes. Just kind of feel the energy and the power of the world kind of coming up on you. And then embrace that calm, casual, easy vibe, because we want to embrace what real wealth is. And that's why I wrote Ongoing Wealth Guide. And like I said, ongoingwealthguide.com. It's free. You can have it anytime you want to. It's not the point at all of what we're doing. But the point that I make when I'm being interviewed and that I talk to people about is true wealth has absolutely nothing to do with how many sales you made this week, how much money's in the bank, how many people showed up at your live stream event, your Facebook Live, your, whatever live stream you did, on your challenge or at your live event. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. Because, you could be in a room and there could be one person there and you could get it done. I mean, you could be in a room and there could be nobody there. And you could have, not even the kind of assistant that I hope you have that's, taking video of you. And you may have had to set up your camera. Maybe you don't even have a tripod. Maybe you do like I do when I take my weight loss pictures. Maybe you prop up the camera against the, against something so that it gets the right angle. And you're literally just doing the video that way. And you're videotaping yourself live on stage in the room that nobody showed up to. Whether you're talking about a bank account that is even overdrawn or a bank account that has massive amounts of money, whether you look out in your yard and you see a brand new, beautiful, shiny car, or, it's an old paid for car, or it's an old car that you still have payments, you're making payments on. All of those things are legit and real, and they exist, but they do not define who you are at all. They have zero, big nada, nothing to do with how amazingly incredible you are, how world-changing you are, and how absolutely wealthy you are. Because here's the thing. I was doing an interview a couple of days ago with a friend of mine that does house flipping, meaning that they're buying and selling houses constantly. Well, if you're in the stage of, investing in real estate where you just put the down payment down on the place and you just wrote the big check to have the construction crew come in and, and begin tearing up the house and doing the remodel, your bank account may look bleak. You may even have, credit cards that you put some of that stuff on. And so you may have a big fat goose egg in your bank account and massive amounts of debt that you just added to your credit cards because you're investing. Okay. If let's use something, that's not that kind of a deal. Let's talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. I ran into Bitcoin when it was 1/10 of 1 cent. No, I didn't buy any of it. Yes, that was stupid, but at the time it was a joke. It was like, somebody offering to sell you monopoly money. And then it started getting used by some of the gambling casinos, online ones, as their trading tokens. And, because it was really cheap and yet it had a quote unquote par value, and it goes on from there. And then, Bitcoin went up to 17,000 and I was like, holy cow, can you imagine if I had bought and I had 100 of them, and each of them was worth $17,000 now, I mean, that's a massive amount of money, you know. And then Bitcoin went up to 50,000. Same argument. Bitcoin closed today somewhere over 100,000. And my buddy, who's really, really into crypto, is guessing it to go upwards of being each coin worth multiples of millions of dollars, possibly even into the billions or even trillions will be the worth of those original Bitcoins. And there's some splits and blah, 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 and stuff that I don't understand. So I'm not going to, talk stuff I don't know. But the other thing that's happened is Bitcoin went up to 50 and then it dropped to 25. Now, if you didn't sell it to 50 because you were expecting it to go to 100 and then it dropped to 25, how much more broke do you feel? And how stupid do you feel that you didn't sell at 50? And then if you did sell at 50 and it's now 100, you see what I'm saying? Those are all real things. And yes, you could have put money or gold or whatever into your bank account at any of those par values, but it wouldn't have made a difference. And if you happen to own one Bitcoin, just one, and it's worth $100,000 now, and so you've gone from, let's say you bought it at $1,000 and your $1,000 investment is worth $100,000, you could feel really great about that. And that could crash and burn and that could go way up. And if you define who you are based on those external things, how much do you weigh? We talked about this one a couple of days ago. When I was 460 pounds and all the negative things that I said about myself. And yet, even during then, I would get called on by high-end speakers to be one of the people that would talk on their referral reel or come up on their stage and do talking because they knew that I could have a really good, sort of good, if you're listening to me stumble around today, we'll just say I'm really good because I'm going to believe in myself, regardless of what this live stream may be showing. I'm joking, because talking on stage in front of a great big giant group of people, there really isn't that gulp moment for me. It's something I can do. Now, here's the hidden secret behind the stage before the curtain goes up. And I've talked to lots of musicians, high-end musicians who have sang to, groups of hundreds of thousands, giant coliseums, down to people who who sing in front of church. Every single one of us, bar none, has that moment. And you see this evidenced really well. If you ever see a behind the scenes of Tony Robbins, Tony, before he goes on, he's having that moment. Now, he doesn't teach this, but I'm gonna pull back the curtain and tell you. Tony behind the curtain, just before, off to the side of the stage, just before he goes on, he's jumping up and down and he's bringing up his energy and he wants to change and set his, what he calls state. He wants to define, I'm up, I'm this, I'm that, and those kind of things. Why does he do those things? To control the variable of his state. Well, here's why. Because every single one of us, and I'll tell you flat out, if you ever get to the point where you don't have this, that's when you need to be afraid. Has that fleeting moment that we pull under captivity that's like, what if they don't accept me? What if I don't do well enough? Who am I to be on this? Michelle Obama, when she brought out her book, which sold hundreds of millions of copies, said in an interview, she asked herself, who am I to write this book? I mean, she was the president's wife. She's a highly influential person, regardless of what you do or don't think about her. And she had that moment of self-doubt, of lack, of less than, of imposter syndrome. And the key to that is to move from that second before to that boom. Here comes the downbeat of the music. Here comes the spotlight. You move to that center of the stage where the spotlight is, where all the lights are on you, where all the eyes are on you, where the microphone is. There's a reason why in stand-up comedy they put that mic right center stage, and typically speaking, there's usually like a bar stool or something that's right next to it. The follow spot could watch the person from all the way over, over in the side, and catch them the very second they peek out of the curtain. And if you've got a good spotlight operator, as soon as you introduce them, the spotlight is on them. But the place for them to come and stand and deliver is boom, center stage. Now, yeah, there are some stand-up comedians that stay right there in that center, and they can own that, and they can make you laugh without moving at all. There's other comedians. I mean, you take like a Robin Williams who is crazed all over the place, may jump out into the audience and attack somebody. I mean, not in a vicious, violent way, but just in that kind of insane way that Robin Williams was. Doesn't make any of them right or wrong. It means that mic was their center stage because that's the starting point. That's your sweet spot. That's why we want you to step into the center of your stage, the heart and soul and core, the clarity, right? Our 3 C's: clarity, consistency, connection. Our clarity is that center stage. If we yell from off the side while the mic is center stage, most of the people, if not all of the people, aren't going to hear us. If we don't go to the middle, grab that mic, and we just run around the stage like a crazy person, we're not going to make that impact. When you start talking about, and ballet isn't a vocal kind of thing, it's more of a visual kind of thing. But when you talk about any kind of live performance that has speaking or singing or those kind of things, if the person isn't physically holding a mic or doesn't have one over their ear or those kind of things, I can guarantee you, because I've been in this industry, there is massively mic'd all over the place, and they check it so there's no dead spots. Because the last thing you want is this person running around singing or telling a really funny joke and it drops out because they're in a dead zone. That's why those mics that now go over your ear and come down here, and sometimes they even tape it right here to your chin. Oh wow, I'm really fuzzy today. Oh wow, that's very fuzzy. Let's bring this down for a second. See if we can unfuzz ourselves. That didn't help at all either. See? And I was so focused on talking to you that I didn't even notice how furry the camera was. I apologize. There you go. That's a little better. It's that center. It's that clarity. It's that this is my message. It's when I come up and I look at you and I say, somebody's waiting on you. I don't have to scream it. I don't have to jump up and down, shout boogie woogie till the sky falls down. It's that simple, clear message. You need to be visible and valuable because someone is waiting on you. And you see all the wealth in the world, all of the followers that are possible on every single social media that exists, all of the people in the entire 8 billion people that live on the planet. If every single one of them was your follower and every single one of them sent you $1, please let me sign up for that program too. None of that would define your greatness, your need, or how much somebody needs you to clearly present it. If you have 8 billion followers and you're not presenting to them anything clear, it doesn't really do a whole lot of good. If you do, like I did during COVID, and you're just coming out and you're being massively motivational and you're just really helping people out, which was my intent and my lack of understanding. I'm teaching you the things that I've learned because I did that, and I did it for months and months and months because, I wanted to and needed to be the other voice that was saying it's going to be okay. Yes, the ticker is running on the television, every single one of them, showing us how many people got sick, how many people died this minute. That was March of 2020. Some of us remember it very clearly. And I went live on purpose to just tell them, you got this. We're going to be okay. We're going to make it through together. Now, the thing I didn't do is I didn't offer people a place to come together during all the rest of the times that I wasn't online to communicate back and forth, be together, and to support one another, and to give ourselves an alternative from sitting and watching the news, which was just sucking us in. I don't know about you, but I got to a point where I just had to turn it off. Anything on television was better than watching that because there was no hope and no promise in it, whatever. When you listen to the nightly news, and I love it, a good friend of mine that used to be one of the news anchors in Portland, she said this. She said, you have to understand, first of all, news exists for the one and only purpose of bringing a profit to the advertisers that advertise during the news cycle. When they're on at, say, the 6 o'clock news, we need to fill the whole thing with things that keep eyeballs on there so that the commercials will run and people will buy the products from the people buying the commercials. That's 100% what we are. And we know that there's a demographic of the people, and they want to hear the headline news for, what's going on in the world. They want to hear the local news. They want to hear about sports, and they want to hear about weather. And, of the people that are watching, not all of them want to hear all of those, but they want to hear one of those. And it's so in demand that, you have Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, et cetera, that now do that same thing because there's so much demand for that. I want you to know there's that much demand for you too. And yes, there are the advertisers, the sponsors, the clients, the customers, the people that want to give you money. But until you show up, until you're clear when you show up, until you connect with the people when you show up, and until you do it consistently enough that people know when to expect you. Imagine if the 6 o'clock news was on today and then not on tomorrow and then on, a couple of weeks from now. And, it's just kind of random. You're like, hey, I'd really like to, tune into the news. Imagine if, I'll give you a perfect example. Back in the day, MTV, okay? MTV music television played all music videos. That's all it played. And then when it originally started, you take something like Thriller by Michael Jackson back in 1984. Thriller played at the top of the hour every 4 hours. You could set your clock to it. We did. Okay. 1984, I was a junior in high school. My best friend had cable. We didn't have it at our house. Whenever I was at our house, at his house, whenever we would set the alarm clock for a couple of minutes till, and no matter what anybody else was doing, or we'd put it on the other TV or whatever we needed to, we were going to watch the Thriller video again every 4 hours for the whole time, and it was just on like clockwork. And you could predict it, okay? And MTV built everything that it had based on playing music videos. Okay, what does MTV play now? Not music videos, I can tell you that. Whole lot of the Kardashians and all kinds of others, 90 Day Fiance and all that kind of stuff. Because they weren't selling enough ad space. They had to pivot to something that they could get sponsors for. And they got a lot of sponsors in the 80s. Back in the days of the one-hit wonder and all that, there was so much going on that there was a lot of money to be made there. The money isn't there anymore. Mostly because if you want to watch a video, whether you want to watch Thriller from 1984 or you want to watch Katy Perry's latest video. I just said somebody that I think still is doing videos. Okay. Whomever that might be. I was watching Jelly Roll and, oh, the guy's name escapes me right now. And they were singing a song called Hard Fought Hallelujah. An amazing video. But if you want to do that, you go to YouTube. If you just want to hear the music, you go to Spotify or iTunes or, that kind of thing. And MTV would be out of business if it was trying to compete with places that have that are selling ads. Because I hate to break it to you, but YouTube exists because of the little ads that it runs. It stays around, and it pays for the servers that it's on. It pays for you to be able to go down a rabbit hole of watching cat videos, or Teddy, the golden lab that I love to watch because he's always picking on his owner. He's always stealing his owner's car or taking the money and ordering pizza. But those wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the advertisers. Now, why did I spend so much time talking about that? Because of the fact that with our clarity and with our connection, that's, in other words, giving them something that they can take action on, we need to be consistent. They need to know when they can expect us, what we're going to say, clarity, when we're going to say it, consistency, because of the fact that we're there to do what's in it for them. Every single one of us, we're looking at what's in it for them. I mean, it can be as simple as, we listen to music because of how it makes us feel. When we're sad and down, we want something that's going to be, that sad song that we can identify. And when we are up or we need to get up, we listen to, I was listening to a song that was done by Stryper in 2015, one I hadn't heard. I happen to be, there's a Facebook group that I'm part of that is all Stryper music, and it's Stryper fans, all right? And they posted that, and like I said, it was in 2015, so a lot of the people that heard it, I had never heard it. I was like, man, Stryper's rocking as hard now, or maybe more, than they were in the early 80s. Good stuff, and it put me in a really great spot. You can take the song Overcomer by Mandisa. When I'm in that spot where I need to be reminded that I'm all these things we're talking about, I am a victor. I am more than enough. I am ready and capable to do it right now. The world does. Someone needs me. I'll listen to that song, and I'll listen to it 3, 4, 5 times in a row. It's an amazing song. And it puts me in exactly that right space to remember and remind me my own message. Patricia's on right now. Patricia was literally saying back to me via a text message in a conversation we were having, my exact words. She, verbally smacked my hand. We all need it. And reminded me to stay in my corner and to not try to do everything that I could do, but do the thing that I'm supposed to do, the thing that somebody's waiting on me for. Yeah, some people do schedule their morning to the minute, and exactly to when the news says and how they need and what the Farmer's Almanac says or whatever that might be. It's so true that we have so much available for us that we'll just change the channel. We'll go to YouTube. There's how many streaming services? You don't like what's on Hulu, go to Netflix. And if you don't like that, go to Peacock. If you don't like that, go to Paramount. If you don't like that, go to, and on and on and on. And that's besides the fact that, you can have cable or satellite at your house and have 500,000 channels of absolutely nothing. And you can be clicking through and be like, oh my gosh, why am I even sitting in front of this television? There's nothing on. But we have it all available to us. And every single one of them is there for one reason. Even when you do like I do and you record them and you fast forward through the commercials, They're there to bombard you with the commercials because they exist to sell that ad space, or they exist if they're an ad free to get your monthly subscription. And they're going to give you exactly the content you want because they want your monthly subscription. See, if you're looking at the bank account and there's big zeros there, yeah, maybe we do need to look at, are we in the heart and soul and center and core of the clear thing we're supposed to be doing? And if we're not, that may be why we've gone from whatever down to zero. And you may have to do like I did a couple of weeks ago, and you may have to throw everything away, look in the mirror, know yourself, get clear about it. And yes, in our group, I absolutely do have some tools that we can give to you. We have some really nice low end products that you can also get that would help you for very, very little money really get clear. I mean, writing a book is almost a throwaway these days. I've got a system in place with custom GPTs. It's a 4 GPT system. I mean, if you want to get on it right now, I usually sell it for $1,000, but if you want to get on it right now, you can get it for 99 bucks. You have to write $99 book deal in the comments here in order to get it. It's the only way you're going to get it. You're not going to find it on a page anywhere, not creating a landing page, nothing. And that's not because I'm doing this live to try to sell that, but because you need to get clear. And because you needed me to show you how easy it is to just do a flash sale. Do it right now. And I don't care whether you're listening live or you're listening 10,000 years from now. Well, 10,000 years from now, I'm assuming I won't be alive. But if you're listening next year, you put $99 book in the comments. That's the only place you can do it. And I will give that to you for $99. I'll contact you. We'll work it out directly. Because your book is a giveaway. Your clarity is what's powerful. Once you're clear, then you create that really clear, compelling, powerful book. You do the thing that only you can do and you show it to the world. Now, becoming a bestseller, that's a strategy and that's a tactic. That's a launch program that you absolutely need because you need that credential. But it all comes from clarity and visibility. Those are all tools. If you're a carpenter, you need a really great hammer. If you're going to be a speaker, coach, any of those kind of things, you need a best-selling book. I mean, really, you need a best-selling book for the foundation of just about any marketing program you're going to do. That's just 38 years of me telling you marketing. I mean, you could be a brain in a jar and still power it, yes. And I might be a brain in a jar and still powering it and still giving you this deal at 99 cents 10,000 years from now, absolutely. But until you take action, until you step away from the lie, the dollars in the bank account, the number of people that followed your latest post, how many people were on your live, how many people have joined your group, how many invites you have to speak at events, all of that kind of stuff. Until we move away from that and we realize you were created for a purpose. You were created to meet the need of that desperate somebody that needs you right now. That's why you're here. Yeah, you're going to learn and grow and do amazing things and advance you and be the best you that you can be in the world and do all those amazing things. But nothing that we have in this world, none of the things that allow us to grow, to lose weight, to show up, to be a great speaker, to be a professional Olympic gymnast, whatever it might be, none of those things, as great as they are for you, mean anything until you use them. I mean, you can be the greatest lawnmower in the world. And if you don't break out the lawnmower and mow your lawn's going to look horrible. You can buy the most high end. This talks a lot about some of these courses we've all bought into. You could buy the most high end, most expensive, can turn around in a circle without moving at all, massively bougie lawnmower that ever existed in the world. You could buy one that is robot controlled, that is pre-programmable, that all you got to do is push a button and it will take itself out of the garage, mow the whole lawn, rake the whole lawn, bag up all of the lawn clippings, take them out to the road, call the garbage company, have them come and pick up the. You see what I'm saying? You could have the greatest in the world with that. And if you don't push that button, it does nothing. You could have the design for that. And if you don't create it, nobody can use it. You could have the word or words that somebody needs to hear right now. And if you don't speak them, they're not going to hear them because they're not there to be heard. Right now, we're practicing. Okay? Yes, we're building our community. You've got your clear messaging, right? Yes. And if you don't, you're joining the group and you're going to get your clear messaging today, right? Yes. Okay? You have consistently been delivering that messaging, right? Now, yes. And if you haven't, you're blocking off your calendar right now for a set time. Like we were talking about the 6 o'clock news. If you like CNN or Fox News or whatever, you probably have your favorite host on one of those shows. Their show starts at the same time every day. And if it's not the news, if it's, whatever, the funniest sitcom that makes you laugh. It was so funny because my dad loved the sitcom Married with Children. And he only ever saw them in replays. But he just absolutely thought that show was hilarious. Yes, my minister dad thought Married with Children was hilarious, okay? Shocking news. And it was on at like 5 and 5:30 or whatever it was every day. And he wanted to be there to watch Al Bundy do the next crazy thing Al Bundy was going to do. See, the TV has a schedule. And you know when to expect that message to come through, that laugh to come through. Whatever that thing is, you know when it is. That's why you've got to be consistent, because the person that's looking for you needs to know when it's going to be available for them to find it. So you're clear on your message. You're clear and consistent on when you're going to deliver that message. Why? Because you want to connect with the person that you're meant to serve. Connect. You know what kind of groups they're in. You know where they go, who they are. Because once you know that person, it answers all the questions. You're invited to go to a group, just a group, just, some kind of a pop-up group or, one of those meetup groups or a networking group or whatever. Is your person going to be there? If they are, then absolutely you want to be there. You're hoping to meet them. If they're not going to be there, maybe it's a good opportunity for you to practice. But it's also a really easy no for you to just be like, no, I'm sorry, but that isn't something I have time to do. Because you need to connect, and you need to connect with the people that are for you, not just everybody. We're not just throwing our message out here into the void of lives so that there can be messaging out there, so we can be like, look back at my YouTube that handles all of my radio shows up until January this year when YouTube changed its thing, and all the lives I've ever done, and a whole bunch of other things that I've loaded there. And look at the hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of videos that I've got. You want to know a secret? My YouTube is a cloud storage place. I think I have 70 followers and I don't know where they came from. I honestly don't. I don't do any marketing for my YouTube. But it's a good place to have the videos be there. It's not a vanity metric. It's just a good tool. Just like, the carpenter has a really good hammer as opposed to the janky one that the head keeps falling off of. Any of you guys have one of those in your house when you were a kid? The professional carpenter, he needs that good one that has that just right, perfect hit that drives the nail in. I mean, have you ever seen a really good carpenter? They're just about as fast, if not sometimes faster than a nail gun. They're like tap, boom, tap, boom, tap, boom, tap, boom, and they're just putting the nails in. And I mean, boom, done. It's amazing. But it's not because the hammer is cool. It's because of their skill in their zone. What if they had bought into the lie that people who use hammers for a living are, insert whatever kind of political or philosophical thing that makes using a hammer a bad thing? All people who use hammers are murderers, which is totally not true. And also totally not what a hammer was designed for. You got to be clear. You got to stop listening to the lie. Because it's not the world's lie, it's the lies that we tell ourselves. For those of you that are Christians like I am, most of the time it's not the devil that's giving you the problem, it's your own brain. The devil doesn't have to beat you up or make you less than or do anything to you, because you've trained yourself to talk crap about you constantly, to live in less than and lack and nothingness, to settle for crumbs when you're the child of the king. God's not going to force you to live better, but everything in the whole world is yours. Jesus said, I came that you might have life and have it abundantly. This is not me proselytizing you. This is me inspiring you to think about real abundance and then to share from the overflow within you. Overflow can only exist when there's water continuing to come into the cup constantly, and then your cup runs over. As soon as you stop the water running in, it'll overflow for a little while and then it levels off at the top. To overflow, you've got to keep having it come in. You are blessed and blessed and blessed and blessed. You are talented beyond measure, and you have more and more and more, an overflowing supply of things that the person you are meant to serve needs, and they need it right now. That's right now. And you're going to do it clearly, consistently, so that you connect with that person and make the difference in their life. Not because a lie tells you you're less than, not because you're trying to or need to prove anything, but just simply because you are already more than enough. And you're going to step into that center stage spotlight, and you're going to live as the more than enough that you are. Come on and join our group. We got you. We will encourage you on the days that you feel less than. We all feel them. Come in and tell us, hey, I feel less than. The link for the group, I will grab it right now, although I made it easy for you, because I actually just registered a domain name. So you could just go to visibilityamplifier.com and you could get to the group, or you can follow that link that I just put into the comments. Come and join us. Make the difference in this world that only you can make. And thank you for doing it, for being the cool, powerful, wonderful you that you are, even with the Saturday vibe, even rubbing your tootsies in the grass, or going for a dip in the pool or whatever. Just show up and be the powerful you that you are. Thank you for doing it. Till we're together again next time, I hope you have a great week.